Hi everybody, this is kind of a new video for my channel, but as you can see, I have my husband in the office working with me today on this particular video. So when I was talking to my husband about the need to cut my planner in half because I was worried about it being too thick to hold all of 1 year in one notebook, he offered to kind of help me figure that out. I knew I needed to cut it in half. That wasn't really what I was worried about. What I was worried about was making a new rear and front cover for the books once I cut them in half. And I'm not super great with measuring, and he's an engineer, so he's really good at that. So he's figured out what he needs to do, and then I've come in so that I can come close to the camera and show you how I'm cutting the spine. So the spine is just paper, and I have gone to where it is in between the signatures, and I'm just cutting it right there. I'm not cutting the paper at all. It's split at the signature, and I'm just cutting the binding. So I fast forwarded a little bit. I went off camera so I could cut it with it really close to my eyes. But you can see there, the binding is still intact. None of the papers were messed up, cut, or damaged. And it is now ready for him to create a new cover, front and rear cover. And like I said, I was just a little too nervous for that. I could have done it, but I preferred having him do it, mainly because if he messed it up, I could blame it on him. But he offered to help. He didn't want to help me, so I'm kind of showing him that I want this to be the front cover of the next book, and then obviously I'm trying to keep him well in frame. It was really fun having him in the office and kind of being like a director, but it felt really weird to stand above him and kind of direct him to what I wanted and what I needed done. And I did ask him, honey, am I bothering you? Does this bother you or upset you that I'm standing above you and asking you to do what I want done? And he was like, no, Skylar, I was in the Marine Corps for 11 years. I'm pretty used to being micromanaged. And I couldn't help but laugh. The poor man. I felt really bad, so I did back off and let him kind of do what he needed to do. But as you can see, he just made 2 scored lines, and he is holding the notebook up against exactly where it needs to be cut, and he's going to cut this paper. Now, I know everybody is dying. I haven't mentioned what this paper is, the name of it, where to get it, how I got it, any of that. Here I am moving it back in frame. I got it at a scrapbook expo many years ago, before I even knew what Denison labels were. And I do show you the cut parts at the bottom of the string that show you the name of the paper and the brand and manufacturer. And then here I am showing you the glue that we're using. It seems very frazzled and frantic now that I've kind of sped it up and there's a bunch of hands in the mix, but this is basically what we're doing. We're just using this Tombow mono liquid glue. It's the white one, not the clear one, and I've zoomed it in a little bit so that you can get a better idea. But that's why he made 2 scored marks, so that he could bend evenly and crisply. I guess is that a word, crisply? That he could bend against the spine on all 3 sides, basically. And sorry about that. I thought that was very clever, but he's just using my bone folder to get the glue really attached to the spine that was left over from the original book, and then we're going to move on. So the process is the same. He's really upset because he's got glue all over his fingertips, and he's not used to that. He was like, Skylar, this glue is so sticky. I feel like Spider-Man. But yeah, I really enjoyed having him in the office with me. He does hang out in there with me sometimes when I'm working, but we have 4 kids, and anytime I need to go into the office while the sun is up and they are awake, he's usually with them. So what I'm having him do here, and he just was not understanding. I knew that this was going to be cut so that there would be 4 complete rows of images, and then 1 would be cut in half, and I didn't like the look of that. So I was trying to explain I wanted to split the difference and cut so that there would be images cut on both sides. And here he looks like a kindergartner just sitting there. But I just wanted them to be cut on both sides to kind of give it an even look and feel, you know, that they were cut like that on purpose, like intentionally. I don't know why that was important to me, but my OCD just had to do it that way. So I'm showing him exactly where he needs to score and how this page is going to wrap, because it's going to be the back end of the book. He knew what he was supposed to do, but I just think he was not understanding what side of the paper I wanted to be on the outside. And so that's why I'm like right there directing him, and showing him exactly, you know, how it needs to be folded and cut and all that. Because to him, paper is paper. It wouldn't have mattered to him either way what side was showing, but it mattered to me. So there he is. We flipped the board around so he could get a little bit more of a better idea of what the measurements were going to be. And he is just scoring them. The original scoring for the first one was a little too wide, and so he wasn't happy with that. He's a perfectionist. Most engineers are. The measurements have to be perfect. He's used to using measurements that are like 1/1000th of an inch or something, and so he is very meticulous. And that's kind of why I asked him to help me, because I know he's meticulous and I'm a little bit less so. I don't really, I don't seek perfection. I seek done. And I'm happy with that. And he is the opposite of that. He seeks perfection in everything that he does. So we're yin and yang for each other, I guess. So he has just cut it exactly. Look at him. He's like, I'm Spider-Man. I can't pick anything up. But yeah, we're just going to glue this again. And then this little piece of paper from the spine was really bothering him, so we had to cut that off. But the process is just going to repeat itself. We're just going to add glue to the paper on where the spine is and set it down. And I wish I could tell you the exact measurements of everything, but we didn't use the exact measurements for anything. We were just using a scoring board, and my notebook, I think, is going to be different. If anybody tries to, you know, redo this project, my notebook is going to be a different size than yours. So, yeah, I can't really give you any measurements, but, yeah, you can see the process. You have a good idea. And I do apologize for the quality of the video. We were filming at sunset, and the lighting is really bad, which makes the quality really kind of grainy, and I apologize. It's not a video I planned to do. It was just one of those moments where the kids were occupied. We had someone here helping watch them. We had some family that were there, and the family members were playing with the kids, and so we had a minute, and so we just ran into the office really quickly to do this, and then I decided to quickly film it. So it was not planned. It was kind of an impromptu situation, and yeah. I hope you guys like this look into it. I know Mitz did this last year over at My Life Mitz. his spirit fingers there. He said, don't edit that out. But once I watched her do it and saw that it was possible, I decided, you know, that this was going to be the best option for me for splitting my planner in two, because the entire year is in one and I needed to split it. So there is the name of the papers. It's by October Afternoon. They're 9 to 5 line. And one is steno pad and the other is, I can't remember. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will catch you guys later. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Bye.